Welcome back, brothers and sisters, to the Knowledge of the Holy. Hope you're well, and hope you've had a good start to the week. We continue our study with Paul, with Saul of Tarsus, then later becomes Paul. So we're going to look at that today. We're going to look at a section of Saul, which is Acts chapter 8, verse 1 to 3. And then after that, I just wanted to touch on Acts chapter 8, verse is 13 to about 22, 23, or 24. All right, where we looked at Simon Magus, because that's part of a short series that we're doing, which is part of the Reformation, connecting the esoteric, Gnostic and mystic branches of a cult with Ignatius Loyola and the Jesuits. Right, so I want to touch on that towards the end of today's series. But to start with, we're going to look at Acts chapter 8, verses 1 to 3. So we read from 1, and Saul was consenting unto his death. And at that time there was a great persecution against the church which was at Jerusalem, and they were all scattered abroad throughout the regions of Judea, Samaria, except the apostles. Now, we can see that the persecution started from Jesus, right? Because Jesus was the first reformer. Okay, he was the first reformer in the church of that time. Okay, because the church of that time, the Sanhedrin and the Pharisees and etc., and all of these people, they were part of the church, because the Israel as a nation was the church. So Jesus came to reform that church, and his own people persecuted him. Pharisees and the Sanhedrin, together with the civil authority, which was the Romans, they persecuted Jesus. That same persecution, was happening to the church. So the persecution that we see that happened during the Roman era, and the Inquisitions, etc., the same persecution was happening to the church, and the main man in charge of that was Saul. Saul went about causing a lot of uprooting of the church during this time, which caused a lot of the people to be scattered. And again, we see that the same way in later Christianity as well, where people were scattered from France, Italy, Switzerland, Germany, and then finally they moved over to the Americas via the Mayflower. So people were scattered. So even in here, we see that correlation of persecution from the first church to now the end church as well.